Hello friends, Mystery here, reporting live for Sloptide News Network, your most trusted source for all things Darktide, and of course, Slop. Today brings hotfix 1.12.2 to Darktide, which is the first real hotfix that is going to address some of the issues with Skitarii. Notably, not all the issues with Skitarii will be addressed here, and I will continue to beat that drum and beat that horse until it is resolved, because as I sort of conceptualize it, we're only a couple of weeks away, maybe not even that much, from the very infamous Fat Shark summer holiday vacation, which could leave us waiting a full month at least until some of these are addressed. And fingers crossed that we don't hypothetically leave an entire ability next to non-functional in games. But we'll have to see how they go about addressing those issues, and we'll have to see what they have in store for the patch today. So with that being said, let's get underway here. We're going to start out today with a very sizable change to one of the most notorious penances in the game, the Pro Trader Penance. The Salvage Lord title is dropping from 100,000 salvage to 20,000 salvage. Now, this is certain to upset a very, very, very small subset of people in the community, but honestly, I sort of feel like this is one of those things where if you had it in the first month or so after Expeditions released, everyone went, ooh, that guy must really hate his life. But after that, it kind of became a non-issue, and these days, people probably wouldn't even know that Salvage Lord is like a hard title to get because they have no idea what Expeditions are. No one's playing that stuff. So they reduced it very significantly, granted 20,000 salvage. With the current state of Expeditions and how barren it is just absolutely torturous to get. So still not exactly a fun time to go and grind that thing out. As I'll say again later on, I think it's always worth just waiting. If you're a Penance completionist, you don't need to have them completed ASAP, and especially after new releases, they do come back in and adjust these numbers. I think that this one in particular, they had really, really lofty goals as far as how much people would be playing this, and quickly realized that even the people who were making progress towards unlocking this title were like, nah, fuck that, and just stop playing. So then we got the next thing up here is the Vanguard enemies. Very nice change here. So what they've done is they've made it so that these enemies have a much easier time getting hit in that headshot hitbox, and the headshot hitbox is going to take much more damage. So I was demonstrating this the other day with the Skitarii and the transonic blades, but we can go ahead and do it here again. Let's just go ahead and take a look that the headshot, I'll pull my Vanguard up, okay, the headshot should be much more consistent, and yes, you can see there. So previously, look, I'm kind of even aiming like a little bit down at the shield, but previously that would have 100% just hit that shield with that first slash there, but now we're getting so much more damage done. And the other thing they did here is that once you do break the shield, which will come up later in the patch notes, by the way. Come on, one more. There we go. Once you do break the shield, you can stagger them now. So what was happening was these guys were immune to the heavy stagger state, and so yeah, they actually couldn't be staggered at all once their shield was broken, which was critical. So yeah, they fixed that up. That'll be later on, but they've also changed the damage over time behavior, because damage over time previously was actually building up on the body of the enemy rather than the shield, which was making it so that these enemies were getting staggered by damage over time effects, like Soul Blaze and stuff, without even having their shield broken. They've nerfed that so that it still can stagger them, like the puff, the first initial application of that, like the puff of the flame staff or whatever, can still do the stagger, but it won't be adding up stagger, won't be opening the shield up on its own, which is good because now you can stagger them with like lots and lots of stuff. So very good changes overall. The changes for the Scab and Dreg Vanguard went from taking only half damage on headshots for the Dregs and half damage for the Scabs to 65% and 75% damage. That's a big buff. That's a big buff to our damage on them. So that's going to feel good. They might not even necessarily have that much HP if with all this considered. Then we saw some more nerfs towards these Skitarii penances. As I was saying, don't grind out penances, guys. In the first week something comes out, if you're a penance completionist, don't waste your time, right? Especially with some of these arduous ones. We know, like, if you've seen this happen before, you've seen it happen a million times, we know these things are going to be reduced. Oftentimes, they have much more ambitious goals for how much people are going to be playing, because they balance these around playtesters who are just playing all day. But real people can only play one, and not to say the playtesters aren't real people, but people who are playing this game as normal people enjoy video games, they can only invest their time in playing one build at a time, and they might only have a few hours a week to spare, so they had to reduce these so that some people can accomplish them, and that's okay. Like, penances really aren't a big deal. Like, you'll get them all eventually anyway, so I'm not particularly hung up on that. Then we get onto some really juicy stuff down here with the general fixes. First of all, fixing an issue where their voltaic emitter ability could be obstructed by terrain and improve the consistency of the weapon malfunction of the voltaic emitter. So, yeah, this was a big problem previously because this was unable to hit targets, and what was happening was it was channeling from your feet. So low-lying obstacles like this yellow chest, I demonstrated this on a previous video, those would actually interrupt because this was considered between myself and those gunner enemies over there. But now they patched this up, and as you can see, those gunner enemies are now jammed. Their weapons are malfunctioning. They are unable to shoot. This guy, by the way, the plasma gunner here, is not doing the animation of being jammed because he is still primed to attack, and that is because if he was enabled in AI, he would swap to his melee to engage me. Because, yeah, he's a shotgunner AI, so he would swap to his melee and approach me. These other guys would stand around and be incapacitated. But yes, having this fixed up is a really, really massive improvement. It was kind of invalidating one whole set of builds, and so yeah, that's a very, very nice thing to have fixed for the class. We then had the heretical artifacts coherency buff fix. This is for the event if you're still doing that. There was a thing that's supposed to buff your coherency radius. It was instead the opposite. It was making it smaller. They flipped a integer there. They had some Skitarii height issues in the end around lobbies and the loading screens where you look default height. The issues where hogtied players were being teleported around. It was so funny. I even saw this happen. I forget what map it was on, but even if you send the servo skull to rescue someone from a hog tie, it would trigger and it would teleport them off to the next hog tie point. And yeah, that sent the little servo skull like chasing after them. It never made it there, unfortunately, but it was pretty funny. Then we could have some crashes with the key binding and the options. That's fixed now, apparently. And here is the one that I was waiting on. The Skitarii Chordclaw strike ability was not consuming a capacitance charge when starting to sprint after aiming the ability, or really at any time when you press the ability. So let's go ahead and test that live on air here. You'll note, by the way, I do have the preliminary prototype version of glow cooldown. So my cooldown is represented by the changing colors of my little center icon there. So what you used to be able to do is hold down the claw, and then to start to sprint, and then release the claw. So I do this. What? Nope, it consumed a charge. Let's try it again. Consumed a charge. I could also hit the attack, the slash key at the same time that I hit sprint, and that still is consuming a charge. So very good. It seems like they have successfully fixed that up, and so yeah, we've got ourselves a non-bugged claw that's going to still be the most powerful ability for the class probably for a while. Okay, that's good. Let's go on to the next stuff with more Vanguard things. As I addressed previously, there was the wrong stagger settings for the post-broken shield states. Basically, while the shield was active, the stagger was affecting them, but post the shield breaking, you couldn't make them enter into the heavy stagger state. I think what was happening is like the values required to push them into that heavy stagger state were like tremendous. They were super, super high, much higher in tiers. You could get them to stagger, but it was like literally only with some of the highest stagger things in the game, like Veteran Shout and Void Blast stuff. And then we had a Veteran Skitarii Penance. This was broken in the sense that the joining an ongoing mission, like even if you joined in 1 second after the mission was already started, if you weren't in the initial countdown lobby, you didn't get credit for it, which was kind of annoying because most times you do get quick played backfilled into missions. We had some interesting bugs with the integrated refraction emitter, which like certainly 4 people are using, and that wouldn't emit any arc lightning when it expires, as if this ability wasn't bad enough. There was an issue where ability cooldown couldn't be decreased while the cooldown was paused while an ability was active. So this was something that, I mean, this kind of like breaks Psychers, right? Psychers do regenerate their cooldown while their abilities pause with Scryer's Gaze. And this gives Scryer's Gaze really good uptime because they can use Psychonix Aura to do that. Same thing with other abilities in the game, and that was broken, and so they fixed that up, so that's good. We're going to have much better cooldowns for those classes now. We had the Foster Blast Pistol being limp, and you could interrupt the animation, and the cylinder would kind of be like left hanging open, so that's good. Some fixes to Ogren operatives in first person. Fix an issue where Pox Bursters could fail to be staggered by melee pushes. I'll get back to you on this. I have not done enough testing. I've only played 1 game so far, and I didn't have any issues there, but we'll see if this actually holds up to be a correct fix for pox bursters, or if this is another, red herring that's just supposed to distract us from the conspiracy by Big Pox Burster to to ruin all of our games. We then had one fix for Advanced Combat Doctrines, but not the fix we're all looking for. This is a Mortis Trials legendary buff, but not a fix for the fact that Advanced Combat Doctrines does not actually hit anything in most games. We had a couple of changes to icons, smoke grenades making it hard to see. Yeah. Okay, great. Okay. That's everything that is here. And of course, by the way, cosmetic fixes, as we all do every week, we have to celebrate the cosmetic fixes, our favorite fixes. These really do make or break the game. We fixed those we finally fixed those visual issues with Thrice Blessed Eye of Admonition from the Scorched Iron Mantle and Mordian and Pride Dark-Wheeled Battleshade helms. So that's awesome. Thank you. Wow. Chef's kiss. Okay, and known issues, by the way, nothing down here about two very notable issues to me. So let me go ahead and get up here on my soapbox right here while I have your attention. Maybe Fat Shark will get their attention as well. So we have some really big bugs. One of them is with Advanced Combat Doctrines. This ability down here, it does not work on live servers. It does not hit the targets you're looking to hit. You can look at Reginald's video on the issue. He's got great footage of the hit reg showing the blood splatter animations and the galvanic rifle having that exploding animation when you hit a headshot and it doing no damage as he shoots at moving targets. I believe that they have said, I saw someone actually posting a little bit lower down. Where was it? I believe someone replied, and this person right here, Sciatech, nailing it, 100%. These are the things I was going to talk about, right? ACD is not hitting anything when targets are moving, and then the servo skull is broken both by Telekine Dome and by Smoke Grenade. It can't do anything when those two things are on the field, and that's definitely not intentional. My thoughts on this, by the way, the reason I think that is I think that in order to keep the servo skull from being classed as an ally and therefore being like, germane to ally buffs and getting buffs from our damage auras, etc., I think they have classed it as its own independent faction, like an enemy kind of, that's tethered to us and follows us around, because not only does the skull get blocked by the bubble and blocked by smoke grenades, but it also has its aim distance reduced by vision impeding effects like blackout maps. So if you're on a blackout map and you're trying to target things, it won't auto target at as long of a range, just like the enemy's AI is programmed to do. They won't engage you at as long of a range on those darkness maps because they can't see and you can't see. So yeah, this is also affecting the skull, and I'd love to see that guy get fixed up, because the servo skull, he's already good enough, but it feels really bad that when someone is running a certain ability, especially a smoke grenade, which is an underused ability as it is, it's going to ruin your game. It's going to make the skull worthless for the team. It still takes your capacitance when you use Nuspheric with it too, so that feels bad, and hopefully they fix that up. But as I said, we just got to keep our fingers crossed and keep on them so they can get this stuff done hopefully before break, and then yeah, we'll be all in good shape. I think hopefully we're going to get some of the server issues aligned as well, but I'll keep you appraised, guys. I will continue on the warpath to getting Darktide to be the best state it possibly can. Thanks for your support. Thanks for watching. Mystery out of here. Bye-bye.